politicians like you have allowed, personal emotions and greed to drive that. And because of that right now, many people rush to Mr. President to pledge loyalty at night. Then by daytime, they come and say something against. And then secondly, sir, what magic did you do?
Let's take one so that I won't forget.
Oh, okay, sir.
But I want you to know the word that politicians like me, because of greed and this stuff, we know that word. I'm not a greedy man. I will not agree. Human beings can be greedy. Some human beings can be greedy. But now that I become politician, no. So many people are greedy, but you don't know, you have not done anything with it. They said, when you give a man power and money, then you know the true state of that person, right? Even you will see that you don't have power and you don't have money. So you appear to be a very good man. Until today, the day power is given to you, you are seeing allocation where you are presiding over. Then it is time we know whom actually you are. No, what I'm saying. No, listen now. Excuse me, why not hold on? Why not hold on? I said it's only politics that exposes you to know whom actually we are. That's the point I'm trying to make. Not a politician, that's the point I'm trying to make. No, but let me also tell you this, it's not correct. That the ruling party, and I take exceptions to that. Let me tell you here, if there was anybody who could have done that under Buhari, was me. If there was anybody that was tormented by a government, it was me. I never had a way. Who of them will say this government is tormenting him or her?
Well, the ADC
I'm coming.
That, sir.
ADC, I mean, which of them empowered to say you've been tormented? I'm coming. And then let me come and free. So I'm using myself as an example. What they are talking, you see, people should be careful. APC, under the Buhari government, had never wanted to kill PDP by using Modi Ali Sheriff. Had they forgotten? By people like Prof.Mgbeke and the former DG of SSLs. Naura. You don't know. When people talk about government making efforts to kill the opposition, the only opposition there was PDP. APC government under Buhari then, through Amechi and the former DG. In fact, with all due respect, with my brother, the governor of the Igbo state now, play together to use Modi Sheriff to destroy PDP. People like us said, no, it won't work. We said, it will not work. We never ran down to Buhari to say, please, let me come and join you. We never did that. So it's not, don't say people went about. This government had not let any individual come up. I'm talking about governors now. Let any individual come up to say this government was harassing him. This government is doing this or doing that. I was personally haunted. My president was personally haunted. There was nothing that EFCC at that time did not do to us as the state government. I never chickened out. We fought Modi Sheriff. We won at the Federal High Court. And winning at the Federal High Court was one of the reasons the government sent SSS to go and impound Justice Liman retired today at the Federal High Court. You remember what happened that night? So when people are talking about this government, I laugh. I don't want to let people know. The matter went to the Court of Appeal. Judgment was to be given by 9 a.m. Judgment was not given to about 5, 6 p.m. They set aside the judgment of the Federal High Court. We were in Lagos at the co-signature. I made them team. They were in the 3rd floor. When the judgment came out, the Modi Sheriff there is the political, jubilation. Well, we have gotten them. And Modi Sheriff, our man now is the chamber of the PDP, opposition party. We laughed. I never ran away. Let me also I hired the lawyers, led by Wole Olani people, Kanagabi, Isukala, and all of them. The matter go to Supreme Court. It was Supreme Court that we won. That's how we threw out Modi Sheriff. So it's not, when you talk about government, what did the government do? You are looking for an excuse. You don't have any reason other than, oh, let's do this. I want to tell you that all those things are just lies. If your party, you know you're an opposition party, you know the government or the ruling party or the government in power will only look for a loophole. That is politics. Will only look for a loophole, just like you in opposition, looking for a loophole where the government is not doing well to capitalize on in order to take over power. The ruling government too will be looking for a loophole in the opposition to see how opposition will be weakened. People should know that this is the truth. So why I'm bringing this instance is for you to know that killing opposition is not because Tinubu's government. I said under Buhari, this is what they did to kill PDP. All these people shouting. It's only when it does not favor you. I can also tell you what then the APC under Buhari did to make sure that they take Rivers State by all means. By all means. Erifa is alive. He's alive. There are them governors of the Northwest met with our late president. Unknown to them, or not realizing that there was a PDP governor amongst them, not realizing, because they spoke in their language, and the president was angry. I was saying, you people in front of you were making me to change CPs, this university, everything. What happened? Did they achieve the result? So, you see, when people come now to talk about Tinubu's government doing this, you forget that. I'm not saying they're doing, but I have not seen anything. I have not seen anything. When people do not want to work, when people do not want to make sacrifice, you got to take excuse that, oh, the government. Let one person say that EFCC has come after the governors.
Yeah, Bala Mohammed said that. And then my second question.
First of all, remember, but remember yes, that Bala Mohammed was facing EFCC charge before he became a governor. Remember?
My second question.
Go ahead.
My second question is that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, let you go ahead.
I just wanted to.
Go ahead.
What magic did you do to have people like Ahmed Makarfi, Bukola Saraki, Sule Lamido attend your convention, even in the face of a case that had been taken to the Supreme Court
yes,
against the PDP, which may likely teach, the situation. So when people saw those faces at that convention,
yes,
that's when they actually felt that you had emerged the national.
Okay,
what magic did you do?
There's nothing like magic. Is you talking to people, let them understand the reality. It's not to chase shadows. These are experienced and leaders in their own rights who have said that, look, what is the bone of contention? You have always talked about, in fact, what they have always carried, entire affairs of the party. In fact, that's one news all of you like, entire affairs of the party, entire affairs of the party. Even I can give it to you, even when these matters go to court. The moment the court sees that, oh, it is between me and you, the same party, it's the entire affairs of the party. Nobody wants to really look down. What is the claim? Or what are the claimants? What are they asking for? Read it first before you find out whether it's the entire affairs of the party. So those who are lazy, those who don't want to work, will always come entire affairs of the party. Journalists will call it entire affairs of the party. Everybody, entire affairs of the party. What is the bone of contention? And that's how God works. Before this judgment of Court of Appeal came, there was a matter that Supreme Court gave judgment a week to the church. Take for example, today is a Monday, for example. Tomorrow will be Saturday, for example. Supreme Court gave judgment the FCT election under Buhari. There are two issues. Two people in the same APC contending. I am the candidate, because he is the candidate. At the Federal High Court, the respondent won. At the Court of Appeal, it was dissenting 2-1. The respondent still won. Then the plaintiff went to Supreme Court. And Supreme Court came out clearly. Now look, it is not in every matter is an entire affair of the party. That when you refuse to obey the Constitution, when you refuse to obey the Electoral Act, when you refuse to obey even the electoral guidelines, the court has right to intervene. And in this case, what are we asking for? What are we asking for? What we are saying, look, INEC, by law, you are a creation of law, and therefore you must obey the law. Can you participate in the activities of these people who have refused to obey the Constitution of the country, who have refused to obey the Electoral Act, who have refused to obey INEC and electoral guidelines, who have refused to obey the PDP's Constitution itself? Can you, in all this, participate in what they are doing? We sued INEC. So the principal relief eventually was against INEC. And the court said, look at it clearly. INEC can't do this in the face of this. INEC cannot do this in the face of this. We're not talking about who is chairman of party. We don't know what we're talking about. We are talking about you can't go ahead with your convention because you have violated all these laws. And INEC, as a creation of law, you cannot participate in this. People should get it clear. It's not every time you come up, you say, entire affairs of the party, entire affairs of the party. What is entire affairs of the party there? We're not talking about who is chairman of the party. We're not saying that Damago at that time was not chairman. We didn't say so. We are saying that 14, 15 states have not done their primaries. Can you deny them participation in the National Convention? 14 states without having their congresses. No caretaker participates in National Convention. They don't vote. And the court said, look, and even the required statutory notice that you're supposed to give to INEC, INEC said, you did not give them. So in the face of all this flagrant disobedience or violation, can INEC be part of what is going on? So, why we're trying to say, so it is not about magic. This Chule Lamido is been experienced. McAfee is been experienced. And these are founding fathers of the party. The former Senate president is been experienced. And now comes a time, gentlemen, I think we have allowed you to this extent. We can't continue. We love this party. We don't want this party to die. And therefore, they say, look, to show commitment to let Nigerians know we are still interested in this party. We will participate in this convention. We believe that this is the right thing to do. Yes, you have gone to Supreme Court. We have no problem with Supreme Court. We are happy. It is part of the development of the law. We're happy. If the Supreme Court says you are wrong, no problem. But I believe our legal is so strong. Look at all the aspects. Look at all ramifications. They don't know why it should be contract. But we are lying to the Supreme Court. We are not. It's not about. So you be using every damn faction. You create faction. We have no created no faction. You have seen that the law had recognized. When we did the convention, you saw INEC there. When they did about a convention, did you see INEC? But every time you come to blame, and when that thing happened, we blame INEC. What is the blame about INEC? The court had told INEC, you cannot participate in this. And then you're blaming INEC. INEC should disobey what the court said. And to just satisfy you, in order for you to raise a black man propaganda, they fall in. No, nobody does that.
Opening question on the presidency at PDP. I know you say it's not all about the presidency, but people are curious. I, for one, would like to know your view of the fact that you are now the national leader of the party. Are members comfortable with the fact that they can apply for the presidency and they will not have your support? And are there people willing to go as far to show their commitment to the party by sticking their name out as a presidential candidate, knowing that they will not have your support?
No. Have it very clear. What you want to achieve? Is it just your name to be in the ballots that you are president, or you want to win presidency? Which one do you want?
in this instance, it's a democracy.
No, I know. Are you saying democracy is just let it be that people have seen me?
No, I'm looking at your figure as the national.
That's what I'm asking you. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying this. I said, look, yes, I'm national leader. I agree. There's no wrong way. But
So,
for example, no, Francis. I don't do anything for just doing sake. I face the reality on ground. What's the reality on ground? We have told the party, the NWC, to set up a small committee and look at the viability of us within the election after the presidency is concerned. Primaries starting April 23rd. Is not correct? It's not correct?
Yeah.
Now, you telling me seriously, tell me seriously, you want to run for presidency. You wake up now. Somebody goes, I want to be president of Nigeria. The primary starts from 23rd. Do you want to convince me that there's seriousness in that? You see, we must be very objective, and that's the problem we're having in this country. We don't do things emotionally. In fact, I was surprised yesterday. Thoroughly surprised. When I was watching politics today, Sheung, if there was any way to break the screen, I would have shot him.
I'm coming murder.
You have shot television or shot Sheung?
In 5 feet, we get to him.
Oh.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you. No, that's what I'm saying. No, the point I'm saying is how you can take yourself, the interviewer, saying that we cannot allow this only one party to do. Look, I said, what is this? You are an interviewer. You are not telling them your own view that how can they be there and make a mistake to allow one party in this country. We will not. I was just taken aback. I know that's the point I'm trying to make. There's nothing wrong. You are the interviewer asking questions. How would people have allowed this kind of thing to happen? Now you are not the one coming out in a national television making that kind of reason, which means you've already taken a position which is not right. That's the point I'm trying to make. So I'm not about going to get what I'm trying to say. The anger that how could an interviewer, the anchor person, be making such a statement? And I said, this is not the kind of journalism I have seen people. I watch other stations, I watch CNN. You can see somebody, I mean, there's nothing wrong in putting a question to him. How do you feel? How do you say? There's nothing wrong in that. But for you, you can see the anger in him. It's very bad. So the point I'm making, I will not, because the national leader of the party, and I know that we are not prepared to vie for the president, for example. I just say, call what's your name? Sambo, come. Go and collect form for presidency. For the sake of, we have contested election. I don't like that.
But you've urged us.
The point I'm making, nobody goes out to say, Benga, come and run for presidency. No. Benga must be emotionally, psychologically, be prepared. I want to do this.
Is it safe therefore to conclude that PDP will not feel a serious presidential?
I did not say that. I said, for me, if I look at the reality. No. What I'm trying to say.
I was actually going.
No, what I'm trying to say, listen to me carefully. I said, a committee has been set up to look at the viability. I said so. But I'm just trying to let you know, if we are being realistic, it won't is not about presidency. And do you want us to go and pick from simply because we want to be there that we have run for presidency when we don't want to make any impact? Or can we make any impact? But if they are saying that today, I know how many people who want to be governors in their states. I know how many people who want to be senators. I know people who want to go to House of Reps. I know many people who want to go to House of Assembly in each state. You can see the vibrancy in them. Even coming back, sir, give us the ticket for Senate. So I'm not trying to let you know. So I know where you are rushing to.
No, actually you don't.
But you be leader of a party.
Yes. Let me just
You're already saying that your party does not have the wherewithal.
I didn't know. Please. Take the English no. Where we tell is finance. Where we tell how to do finance.
Yes.
And okay, let me tell you. Finance, when you say party does not have money.
When you argue,
No, the party does not have money. An individual must say, listen, take reality, you are not politicians. You want us to tell you what will suit you, I will not do that. What I'm trying to tell you is that, first of all, I want to run for president. For example now, I've checked myself. I have the resources to start with, but no one man alone, do you understand me, can have all the resources. You may have support. Supporters will come to give them, so when they know, first of all, you stand a chance of making any impact. No, you see, take for example, tell me now, come out for president. Even as I am here now seated here as the Minister of FCD, I resign now, like you wrote that I've resigned. And even have my new signature you sign. You know, take for example, I want to come out now for president. Tell me, even if I have all the money, do you understand me? What impact am I going to make from now? If we are talking about presidency, we're not talking about local government chairman. We're not talking about House of Assembly. We're not talking about House of Reps. When you are talking about a local government or 2 local governments, you are talking about 36 states and FCT.
Or could it have been that they were discouraged because of your
bold,
brazen and constant support for Mr. President's re-election in 2026?
How could it have been when in 2023, did I not say I will support Mr. President? So why were they not discouraged at that time? It's not correct.
Just a quick follow-up, just to conclude.
Delegates from Rivers.
Protect the lady.
I'm just trying to quickly wrap up where I'm sorry. So I wanted you to speak to the fact that you are upset that Sheung said we are sliding to a one-party state.
No, this time, listen to what I said.
Okay, let me just frame it correctly. Yeah?
See what I'm saying? As the interviewer, you don't need to put yourself as if you know that this is your position.
The point I'm trying to make is you've urged us to be logical in looking at things. The ADC doesn't seem to be stable. The Labour Party seems to be...
Can I come to that?
And then...
Can I come to that? Can I come to that?
Yeah.
Now you have brought this ADC. I'm sorry, now you have brought it. You see, that's why we should be able to ask ourselves questions. I'm going to, frankly speaking, if I was a member, so-called, if I was to join to any party, I would be very careful not to join some of these parties that already have crisis, I believe so.
Including the PDP?
As if I were to join any party, I'm already in PDP. So why you say including PDP again?
Well, you were given an...
I said if I was to enter another party, I would be careful. Look into the crisis first. Those parties are not rooted like PDP. They are not rooted like PDP. Now, do you know what happened in the ADC? That's what something I tried to read. Go and find out. And this was the case management, as far as I'm concerned, where I saw it. Bala Gombe went to court sometime in September 2025. Filed an originating summons for ex parte order and motion for interlocutory injunction. They went to court. The court said, no. Put them on notice and let them come and show cause why I should not grant this. I don't know what I said. Show cause. In essence, I'm not going to grant anything at their back. That the court has not taken a decision as far as we're concerned from what I read. Now, what did the ADC do? They went and appealed to the Court of Appeal against what the judge said, put them on notice to come and show cause why they should not be granted. There are lawyers who are so experienced and this thing. They would do it. They would go to court and make sure they argue the matter. And then we can go on appeal. But look at the danger. And that's what we should tell themselves. Ask, what is the truth in this matter? Before you begin to blame INEC, before you begin to blame judiciary, before you begin to blame the ruling party. Is it the ruling party that told your lawyer to go and file an appeal when the matter had not even been heard? Just because the judge said, put them on notice and let them come and show cause why I should not make this order. You want an appeal? Let me tell you what most lawyers have been doing. It happened in our own matter where we went to court asking the court to tell INEC to be recognizing us because the carrier committee had been formed. 2, that police should give us support to open the secretariat so we can occupy them. Now, the judge said, I won't grant that, but I would rather say, put them on notice and come and show cause why they didn't come to court. They wrote petition against the judge to recuse himself. He has not gone to the court. They wrote petition against the judge to recuse himself. And blah, 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 blah. They went to Court of Appeal. Court of Appeal gave judgment. What has happened? In the first place, it's a discretionary order. And 2, it's a territorial issue. You must seek leave of the court before you call. Whatever it is, the court has not said anything. And threw away their appeal. The same thing happened in this ADC. And the Court of Appeal said, as far as we are concerned, the judge has not granted or refused to grant. All the judge said, put them on notice to come. And you're also talking about the issue of jurisdiction. The Court of Appeal said, no, the matter has not been had to talk about the issue of jurisdiction. If the matter has been had, and even if you did not raise the issue of jurisdiction in that lower court, you can raise it for the first time in the Court of Appeal. That is, the matter has already been had in the trial court. Blah, 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 blah. And the court gave judgment. Now, the question you should ask, what is the judgment that the Court of Appeal gave that made ADC to go and appeal to Supreme Court? What was the judgment that the court made, or the order the court gave, that made them to appeal to Supreme Court? If there was no order made by the Court of Appeal, would they have appealed to Supreme Court? If the order made was not against them, would they have appealed to Supreme Court? Judgment was given in March 12. APC filed notice of appeal on 16th of March 2026. In fact, on the 31st of this March, that's when they transmitted the record of appeal to Supreme Court. On the 1st of April, being 2 days ago, they filed for motion for stay of execution of that judgment. What judgment are you going to stay? What judgment? I'm coming. What judgment are you filing motion for stay of execution if the judgment was nothing to affect you? Now, what was judgment? Even in their ground 7 of their ground of appeal, they are complaining, why should the judge grant order of status quo ante bellum? Why? If that order was not touching on you, if that order does not have any negative effect on you, would you have appealed? Certainly not. Now, let me. I know you will come. It's good for Nigerians to get all this part. It's not good to come on television. INEC did this. This. You have gone on appeal. Tell Nigerians, what did you go to do on appeal? What order that you think was negative to you that you want on appeal? Because they have not told Nigerians that they want an appeal on that judgment. They did not tell Nigerians they filed a motion for stay of execution of that judgment. Do you stay something that is favorable to you? Do you go and appeal something that's favorable to you? You go and appeal something that's not favorable to you. Now, and the lawyer on the respondent side wrote letter to INEC. You must comply with the orders given by the judgment of by the Court of Appeal. In fact, I must say this, to my own mind, ordinarily, INEC ought to, by that judgment, ought to be recognizing what's it called? Bala Gobe. But INEC, and not to be seen, to be biased. Now I say, look, in fact, ADC should even be happy that INEC said, look, we are not going to recognize any of you until you sort out your matter at the court, right? But if you ask me personally, I would think that INEC did that in order to see that they are balancing, not to be seen to be, but it is matter not to you helping this person or not helping this person. The law says this, whether it is good or whether it is bad, that's what the law said. Now, you now said, okay, let me end. So, okay, you now say, no, what INEC did was bad. Political parties should know that you must put your house in order. Not when you have messed up. You go and hold INEC. If you don't hold INEC, you hold the judges. If you don't hold the judges, it's the ruling party. Is it the ruling party that told you to make that kind of blunder you made? Blunder. That may be costing you heavily now. But you won't tell people the truth. You go and bring people to interpret what's antebellum. Okay, assuming you have different interpretation, why do you go to court based on that granting of the status quo antebellum? That is the ground 7 of the ground of appeal.
We have to go on a quick break, except that with all the elaborate information and facts we have given, you have just further armed those who believe that you are involved in fueling the crisis in the ADC.
No, please, no. But before you go, no, because you see, that is the problem. No, listen, that's why, that's why I say you people should try to read. Let me tell you, when I say better, the documents, public documents, what you do, tell any of yourself, can I have documents, can I have the Court of Appeal judgment, can I have the order made by the Federal High Court, can I have, if the AD appeal, you apply. I have all. You don't need to. And that's the way you're talking on television. Talk with the facts. Talk with authority. You don't just come up to say something, you don't even have the facts. You've not even read anything. I have read, so I can tell you, see what happened. Not because I'm interested. In any case, why should I not be interested? I'm a citizen of this country. I must know what is going on in other political parties. I must know.
It's okay.
Time suits you when you are the one having an upper hand. Look at when the man said, the national chairman should go and the commissioner. I agree. If they go, who appoints again? Who will appoint? Who will appoint? It's not the same president. So why you go play to the gallery? If you say national commissioners resign, national chairman resign, they have resigned now, for example. Can you appoint? You have the power to appoint. You were Senate president. All you would have done, as at that time you were there, Watamba, who was speaker, you would have amended the constitution to make sure the president is not the one who will appoint. So what is all this hula balu? What is all this shouting? You know the removal of the chairman and commissioner provided in the constitution. You do something that you don't see is not going to work. You don't come out and let people say, oh, he has said it. Said what? It means what? What's the effect? Let it be that you have said something. Once you said something that has no effect, I mean, that stage you should pass in life. So tell David Mark, when he was given the opportunity to conduct a transparent election, he didn't do it. He manipulated the system. Today, he's not shouting about non-transparent system but manipulation. Haba.
The Honorable Minister